Well, today, I hope you're doing awesome. Look, my name is Jay Moore. I'm your healthy accountant, and I want to welcome you to today's enlightenment broadcast. Guys, today we're talking about how to change a family. It could be how to change your family. Have you ever wanted to change your family or something about it? You're looking around, you're saying, man, how can I do that? How can I change how my kids are acting? How can I change how my wife is acting? How do you change a family? So this is a recurring theme that something popped into my head on Sunday. And what it said was, it says, Jay, you can't teach what you don't do. And I said, you can't teach what you don't do. I said, man, I've heard that before. I've even, someone said it to me, and I've said it over and over. But this week, that statement just has been ringing out in my head. You can't teach what you don't do. And it almost really, yesterday, it really got to me. Yesterday it got to me, but on Sunday when it hit me, I went into, you know what? I've got to show, I've got to show, a change. Hey, good morning, Regina. How are you? I've got to show what I want through doing it, so that if it's my family, I want to change my family, right? I have to do it so that they can learn how to do it. It's nothing like a parent. It's nothing like a parent that's walking around and telling their kids, this is what you have to do. Just follow my rules, just follow my rules, just follow my rules. But then the kid realizes that the parent never followed the rules. This happens in families all the time. And, and so this week, as I was preparing for the week, and that statement came to me and says, you can't teach what you don't do. It's literally been guiding me every single day. And I've been remembering things that I've done. And I'm looking at especially my children. I'm looking at my children because that's where I can see what I've actually taught. And I'm going to start with my oldest, right? My oldest, he turned 16 on Monday. Like, wow, it's been 16 years already. And about, what's this? This is 2019. In 2015, I did something that I'd never done. It was 15. I think it was 15. It was 14 and 15. I started doing these videos, right? And I remember he would come get in the video with me. He didn't have a cell phone yet. He hadn't gotten into videos yet. He'd come get in the videos. He would look forward to seeing me on video. And, time goes on, he gets on video. It didn't really click to me that I taught him what to do with video. And so I'm looking at his life. I'm saying, wow, he's all about video. I can see his life is going to be about making videos in the very future. I was astounded because I said, wait a second, that was 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And here it is now. That's what he spends most of his time on. I said, man, what else have I influenced? Now, here's the thing. I also influenced some things that probably wasn't as productive. And I said, well, what else did I influence? And I looked around and I said, I'm looking at, it could be his desk, it could be his room, it could be, how he talks, or, what he, the mannerisms that he has, or if he's stubborn, if he's kind, if he's all these characteristics. And I said, man, comes out that the easiest, the things that they actually see you do. Sometimes they don't even have to see you do it. What's this? Last school year, I was in my office and I decided to put something off to the next day. Look, it was so crazy. And that's when I learned this lesson big time. I decided to put something off to the next day. And I came out of my office. I put it off to the next day, which I could have done that day. And I went to him and I was talking to him. It was something he needed to do. He says, Dad, I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And it was at that moment I said, you're going to do it tomorrow? I was like, and I couldn't say anything because I had just put something off to the next day. I said, wow. See, you got to remember something, guys. You can't teach what you don't do. Think about something that you want someone else to do that you're struggling with, that you're not doing. And as parents, we have done our children a disservice by telling them to do things that we're not even doing. Now, here's the thing. You could have messed up in an area because sometimes you messed up when you were young. Like, okay, you messed up when you were young, but you can't do it. You can't mess up when you're teaching your children. And I said, man, look at that. Immediately, and I shared it with my wife. I said, man, I said, look, even the things that they can't see, just the energy around that will go to them because we're in the same environment. I said, man, you can change your family simply by doing what it is that you want the other family member to do. Something else I was thinking about. I said, man, now my youngest son, he loves to cook. Now, he's interesting, right? Because he's really gotten to cooking. Now, and I'm saying to myself, well, at first, how do you want to get into cooking? I said, well, he sees me in the kitchen like every single day. He sees me cook. Now, how did he get into really liking to make sweets? He loves sweets. Well, I don't make a lot of sweets, but I have made a lot of sweets. But the only thing I can say is I cook all the time. And all of a sudden, one day he was like, yeah, I just want to be a chef. I want to be a chef. I want to be a chef. And he's just been I'm like, well, how did he get that? Well, he's seeing it every single day. It's in his environment. See, the thing about changing your family is that your family will follow everything that you do, but not what you say. Parents, your kids will not listen to you because you're telling them to do it. Now, at some point, yeah, the sheer force of making your kids do something goes away. I see parents, and just like me, we sometimes we're struggling in areas of helping our kids. Hey, good morning, Kim. Glad to see you here today. We're struggling with our children simply because we're not being the example of what it is that we want them to learn. And here's the thing about being the example. You can't force it down their throat. You just have to be that person. You have to have that characteristic ingrained in you. One other thing I noticed, I sometimes I'm not gonna say sometimes, a lot of times I keep a messy desk. My desk. And I said, man, that's not right. If I want my children, to have a clean desk, and I'm just being transparent. If I want my children to understand different things about organization, being on top of things, I got to be on top of things. See, I want to change my family. I really want to change the world. But how am I going to change the world if I don't change my family? See, that's one of the missing ingredients to the Christian faith. I know a lot of Christians. I'm a Christian. Go to church, but there's something missing inside the building. And I'm watching. I'm saying, wait, we're missing something here. The power that people seek is not in the building. We're not finding it there. So I said to myself, well, how would I change the church? Well, Jay, man, why don't you change your family first? Why don't you handle the environment that's closest to you? And really master that, really be the person. Then start working with, the clients that you have, and, help them to change the way that you've changed. And as you're helping them to change in all those areas, from their finances, what they have to do in their business, their family, how they communicate, their relationship with their spouse, or, how they would actually go about getting a spouse, their health, their wellness, their mental capacity, their spirituality, all these things. Like, you just have to go taking it one step at a time, but you have to lead yourself down the road. See, I've come to realize, I've shared this the past few messages that I've been on here. I've really been talking about change. Here's why, because change is an area that I believe that I've been called into. And this change that I believe I've been called into, it's not for me. It's not for me. It's for me to bring all of these successes that I've been blessed with into the world so that someone else can use them. You won't change the way I've changed, I can guarantee you. You won't be able to do the things the way that I do them. I can guarantee you won't be able to. But what I can guarantee about the change is that if you implement the principles behind change, which the principle is this: there's going to be springtime, right? Springtime is coming. Doesn't it come every year? There's going to be summertime. It's coming. Doesn't it come every single year? Does fall come every year? And does winter come every year? Wait a second. Does day come every day? Does night come every day or every night? You follow what I'm saying? Does a baby grow when they come out of the womb? Yes, they do. Can any person learn new skills? Yes. See, change is inevitable in our realm. See, when God created earth, when he created this world, he created the ability to change. See, if he would have created us inside of eternity, which where he lives in eternity, if he created us in eternity, do you realize what would have happened if if the first man would have messed when the first man messed up? Do you realize what would have happened? Then that realm would have been, I'm talking about stuck. We would have been stuck in there with sin and death. Like that would have just been messed up. And so he had to put us in a realm where we basically can change the things that we've done in our lives. I'm gonna tell you, as I started to understand this concept, I'm like, man, that's interesting. That's good. That's good that he did that, because every day you can wake up every day and change if you want. You can make a decision every day to change different than what you was the day before. See, how to change your family starts with one person. And it starts with you. It starts with me. See, what you and I can do is this. We can say, man, I want my kids to be loving and kind. I want my kids to, to always help people. I want my kids to be successful, and I want my kids to, have all these characteristics. Yeah, I want them to have that. All right. Now let me back up. Let me embody everything that I want from my child. Everything that I want. It's kind of like the golden rule. You know the golden rule? Basically do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do it the way that you would want it done. It's nothing like when someone, hurts your feelings. If someone hurts your feelings, do you hold a grudge? But think about it, if you hurt someone's feeling, would you want them to hold a grudge, especially if you were sorry? Would you hold a grudge? So you got to do unto others what you would want them to do unto you. I think that's pretty simple. But it's not simple. It's actually pretty hard, because most people, when something happens, when someone does something to you and I'm going to get them back for that. I remember, let's see, this is 2019. This is probably in 90. This is in the 90s, probably like 97, 98. I had a little falling out with a good friend, a very good friend. I had a falling out. And in that falling out, I was like, literally, I wrote him off. I didn't want to talk to him. Good friend. Wouldn't talk to him. And, You know, my wife she was just like done with him. And, you know, we were both done with him. It got to a point where I couldn't do it any longer. It's like it was causing more strength to be mad. And one day I just started letting it go. I was just like, I made the decision to do something that we both did. Now, he handled a situation that I probably didn't like, but you know what? It's no big deal, man. I forgive you. It took me some years. And after I dealt with that, when I finally got over it, man, it might have been 5. It could have been over 5 years before I got over it. When I got over that thing, I realized that I wouldn't do that again. I realized that it's healthier to forgive than to hold a grudge, than to hold on to when someone did you wrong. And I'm gonna tell you, I changed that. And from then on, it's been, you know, if something bad, now it's even crazier. Like, you know, there's some people in my church, they're like, man, Jay, you just so positive. Like I open my mouth, it's just the positivity coming out. He's just like, man, how you do that? Like, I can't, I'm just not there. One of my friends said, I'm just not there, Jay. I'm just like, because you're choosing that. You're choosing not to be there. When you have to look at, just like Jesus, when Jesus looks at us and when he sees us and when he sees different things happen, he's just like, man, I love you so much. You just don't know. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I still love you. Like he's just like, oh, baby, it's just you don't understand. But he's not holding a grudge. When you do wrong, you know. I had a good friend of mine share something about his understanding. You know, sometimes when he talks to people that may not believe the same way, he says, yeah, I was mentored by a young Jewish rabbi. I said, man, I got to use that. You know, young Jewish rabbi, you know, taught me some lessons that I use today. That's timeless. I'm going to start using that. But if you want to change your family, one thing you got to do, look at yourself. Find all the things you want to change in someone else, especially in your family, and just go to work. Don't say anything to anybody else. Don't say, hey, I'm on it. Mm-mm. You go about doing it. And then just, you know, you don't know when someone's going to pick up on it. Don't be trying to get people to do it. It's not for you to do. You know, it's for you to stay focused on you. That's like one of the first levels of leadership is that don't talk. Don't talk about what people should do. You should already be doing it. So that when you do open your mouth, you can share your results with people and they will say, all right, I think that, man, wow, she's got results. He's got results. He's doing it. I think I can learn something. But even if they decide not to take your word for it, don't care. Just say, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to do it myself. So you want to change your family? It's pretty simple. Change you. All right, guys, I appreciate you for joining me today for this Enlightenment broadcast. My name is Jay Moore, your healthy accountant. And today we talked about how to change your family. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about how to change your church or something like that. That'll be fun. All right, guys, I appreciate you. God bless you. Take